What's going on, everybody? It's the architect himself, Sean Garvey, and this is the BV Mobile Apps Podcast. Purpose of this podcast is to spotlight the amazing people that are currently using BV Mobile Apps. We're going to talk to you a little bit about BV Mobile Apps later on in the podcast, but I want to introduce to you an amazing client to BV Mobile Apps. She is a host, she is a blogger, she is an entrepreneur, and she is all things considered greatness. She is currently a client to BV Mobile Apps, and we are so pleased to have her on the phone lines with us today. Let me introduce you all to Miss Tateana Michelle. Tateana Michelle.
Hey y'all. Oh, this is so dope. I'm so excited to be a part of this interview. How you doing?
Hey, I am excited that you are part of this official interview, Tateana. We are so glad that you took time out of your busy schedule to speak with us today.
Of course. You guys are great. So when I got the email, I'm like, listen, this is going to be a very good opportunity. I would not even have turned this down. I was actually looking forward to it all day. So I'm excited.
Well, we are definitely excited. As I was doing the introduction, I'm looking at your bio. You have done a lot of incredible things online. This is where it's at. Everything is online these days.
Yes.
Everybody wants to be a blogger, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And from what I understand, being a blogger, it has its challenges, but it also has its rewards. So I want to cover that layer later on the podcast because you do all things considered blogging. I had a chance to check out some of your videos on YouTube. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, she is a YouTube sensation. But we're going to get into all that later on in the podcast, BV Mobile Apps Podcast.
I like the way you introduced me right now.
So let's talk. Let's take it back to earlier. You are from Rochester, New York, and you educated me about something because even though my part of my family is from New York, shout outs to Bronx, Mount Vernon, Harlem. Rochester is in upstate New York.
Correct. Like a lot of people never know where Rochester. When I say Rochester, New York, they'd be like, "What is that? Is that a country?" I'm like, "No, it's New York, but it's upstate New York. So it's Rochester is Buffalo, it's Syracuse, and that nature. It's not your Brooklyn, your Bronx, your Queens. It's none of that. So we're upstate. So we're just basically a couple hours away from like actual New York City, but we're in the outer part. So we're 45 minutes next to Buffalo."
And you got the accent for it, by the way. I could tell just
really?
just by going in.
I don't think we have an accent.
Come on now. Some of you all do.
Okay.
But it's a good thing. It's a good thing though. So, you from Rochester, New York, and you've been following a lot of stuff that's been happening on social media and everything that's been trending on social media. What made you want to become a blogger in the first place?
Well, being growing up, I always was like interested in like entertainment. I always I was like into music. I was just into that type of nature, whatever. So I'm like, you know what? Although I did go to school for criminal justice, and I feel like I should have went for like communications or film production, that type of nature. But I always had that passion for like writing, recording, filming. Like I always had that passion growing up, but I didn't think it was like really realistic. Like as I was young, I thought I had to like go to like school for like medical field or criminal justice or something like that. But after I got my degree, I always found myself just going back to like writing in my journal, going back to wanting to make videos. So, I just, like you said, social media is a good way to like learn from different people. And I started following all these like bloggers and these lifestyle bloggers. And I'm like, you know what? This is cool. This is always something that I always wanted to do. So that's how I actually got into like blogging. And I'm like a lifestyle blogger. So I like to write about my own personal experiences, but like a way where people can actually learn from. So when people hit me up like, I read your blog, this inspired me. Thanks for sharing. Like it just makes me feel like really, really good. But then I got into, doing video logs. Like blogging and being in front of the camera. Because sometimes with blogging, it can be very difficult and time consuming when you're trying to like type something up and make sure everything is edited. So when you could just get it in front of the camera and actually just record and talk, like to me, that's a little easier for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I prefer like the video blogs versus like actually sitting up writing all the time.
Executive producer and writer for the Tateana Michelle show. Talk to us about
Mm-hmm.
that. Talk to us about the science behind this particular program.
Yeah, so the Tateana Michelle show is something I came up with about 5 years ago. Like I always wanted, it goes back to me being into, like really into the entertainment. I always wanted my own show. Like I want to have my own show on TV. But nowadays you can create your own platform. You don't even have to be on like television, like with the podcast, YouTube. Like it's so many things out there. You could just do your own thing. So the Tateana Michelle show is something where based out of Rochester, New York, where I was interviewing local artists, like local entrepreneurs, local rappers, fashion designers, but also talking about like hot topics. And my very, very first episode, I interviewed a gay rapper. He hit me up and just was like, "Listen, I want to be a part of this." He was saying how hard it was for him to become a rapper because people didn't take him serious because of his sexuality. So that particular episode did really, really good. And then I also had the opportunity to interview this lady who, she didn't know her biological mother, and she actually found out all these years her biological mother was somebody that she was actually working with all these years. So that video on YouTube got about like 115,000 views. Like that
Wow.
video did so good to where a lot of people was like reaching out to me. Like they really thought like I was like, not saying I'm not nobody, but they was like really hitting me up. And it was just like really, really cool. But it's just basically like my own show out of Rochester and on my YouTube channel. So it's really, really good. I just interview a lot of local entrepreneurs and I touch on like hot topics and stuff.
This is why I said earlier in the podcast that this lady that I have on the phone lines with is an YouTube sensation. You've gotten
Thank
so
you.
many views. I had the opportunity to check out some of the videos that you put out there online. From my understanding, you have guest co-hosts come on the show. Talk
Yes,
to talk
correct.
to us. Talk to the people listening to the BV Mobile Apps podcast. Talk to us about the people that you invite to your show from time to time.
Yeah, so time to time, like to spice things up, I do invite people. It's just not that easy. Like, oh, you reach out to me and hey, yeah, you can be a part of it. Like, you have to like have something special. Like, I want you to be entertaining. So like, it'll be people who reach out to me, and of course, like I'll see what they do and go from there. But sometimes. I find it good to actually like study the people that I want to interview, study the people that I want to be a guest and see what they can bring. And that's how it usually happens. Like I'll see some people that's doing something really, really dope here. And I'll just hit them up like, hey, are you interested of, coming on the show? And we're talking about this topic, and they just be down for it. But like I said, people reach out to me. They're more than welcome anytime to come on the show. But I like to reach out to people too that I know that's gonna like bring that good energy to the show.
For those who are just tuning in to the BV Mobile Apps podcast, we are talking to host, blogger, and entrepreneur Tateana Michelle. She is on the phone lines with us today, talking to the architect himself, yours truly, Sean Garvey. And we are talking about all things considered Tateana Michelle because she is a part of the BV Mobile Apps family. And
Yeah.
here is one of the reasons why you definitely want to check her out through BV Mobile Apps because you have your own app, right?
That's right.
You have your own app. Let's make that official. You have your own app.
I have
And
my own app. Yes, Tateana Michelle official app through BB mobile app.
yes. Big shout outs to BV Mobile Apps because they happen to be the ones that customize your own app. And
Correct.
right, and followers and people can check out your video blogs on your
Yep.
app.
Yeah,
And
the
right.
app is really, really good.
Yes. And I know you are getting ready to tell our listeners how amazing your app is. But we got to talk about the content though. We got to talk about the content just to be transparent with you because your content And like I said earlier, I checked out some of your videos on YouTube. Your content is off the chain because it can get very, very intense and raunchy and very, very steamy and hot. But in today's media world, that's what a lot of people are hungry about. You know what? I'm not going to even say no more. Not for right now. I want you to tell the listeners, tell our new listeners, and soon to be viewers of the Tateana Michelle show a little bit more about your show, including some of the topics that you and your guest co-host touch on.
Okay, yeah. So the Tateana Michelle show, like I said, was, based out of interviewing local entrepreneurs and touching on hot topics. But recently, which was last January, I decided to come up with a segment called Let's Talk Tuesday. And Let's Talk Tuesday is a show that come out every single Tuesday at 6 p.m. And I have a co-host, and we talk about different topics, like real topics, intense topics, but topics that women talks about, but topics that men can learn from. So some of the topics we untouched on. What are some of the topics? Oh, I don't
You want me
even
to
know.
help you out? Do you want
Some of
me
the
to help
topics.
you out? Because
But we talked about
Uh-huh.
everything from like relationships, like can you be friends with your ex? We even talked about sex, how long should sex last? We talked about what other things that we talk about? Just it's basic like a lot of like relationship things. No, matter of fact, I got some of the topics right here. I'm trying
All
to think
right.
about what topics we talked about. Oh yeah, so we talked about is pregnant the new trend? Now on social media you see a lot of women, you're pregnant but they're not in relationships. They're pregnant but they're not married. So is pregnant the new trend? We talked about prison days. A lot of women are married but their husbands are in prison. Talked about, like I said, how long should sex last? Do men prefer the natural look? Like going back to social media, you see all these men, all these men that's into like women with the big butts, the big breasts. You don't really see the natural looking women no more. Like women are getting cheated on for women that have like all this plastic surgery. So we talked about that. We talked about co-parenting with a bitter baby mom, baby dad. Like it's very hard to co-parent with someone that's bitter, someone that's not happy. In order for co-parenting to work, I believe that the mother or the father both have to be happy. We just talk about, what do girls like in guys? So those type of topics we talk about. We give our point of view, our experience, and a lot of people leave comments. Don't get me wrong, we get a lot of backlash. Right? We get so much backlash from men. It's crazy. They think that we're just down in men, but this is like real topics that women talk about with their friends with wine. And that's why we do try to have our little glass of wine when we're recording to just make it realistic. Like this is what we do. This is the conversations that women have. This is how most women think. So Let's Talk Tuesday is doing very, very good. So I love it.
I want to take a moment to talk about one of my favorite segments that I watched recently watching your show. That is, how long should sex last? One of your guest co-hosts said at least 30 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm not a 30-minute man. I'm sorry. I'm not a 30-minute man, and I'm not a 5-minute man.
So how long? How long you think? Well, how long you like try to go like for hours?
Not for hours. At least 1 hour. At least 1 hour.
Well, okay. I guess it depends on the mood. It depends on the mood of the day, of the night, however, whatever time you have to, it depends on the mood. That's just what I think.
And it depends on the individual as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And everybody, and that's the thing, like even when we did that topic, we did get a lot of like backlash from that too, but everybody is different. Not saying what we're saying is what all women think. Everybody is just different.
Yeah. What works
My
for the
thing
goose.
is if you're gonna go a whole hour, at least make it interesting. At least spice it up. Like at least, like I don't know. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, I got it. I got that good and plenty. Yes. So what topic do you and your guest co-host would love to touch on that you all haven't touched on already?
You know what? It's so hard because we're in like season 2 right now. So like even when it's time to record, it's like, okay, what should we talk about? What should we talk about? And I don't want to make it seem like we're just backlashing it. I mean, not backlashing, but like talking about men all the time or relationships. So I try to like Um, switch it around a little bit. I'm really not for sure like what topic I want to touch on. I do know going into the next season, a lot of things would be a little different due to the fact that next year I will be married. So therefore,
Okay.
I would have to like swing a little away
Congratulations.
from different topics we're talking about because I don't want people to look at it and like, oh, she's talking about this, but she's married. So that's where I'm at right now, trying to figure out how can I still make it interesting, not boring, but to where people that is married or people that's inspired to be married that's watching the show can, relate to what we're saying. And, it's different when one is married, one is not. So I'm just trying to like get things together on that behalf, but I'm not really for sure of a topic because I'll be so confused on what topic we should talk about to just make sure the audience is, not bored. But usually some of our topics come from topics that people send us.
Mm.
So that's how we usually do it too.
And congratulations
Thank
on,
you, thank
yes,
you.
you are getting married, which is
Mm-hmm.
a next level for you. So does this
Right.
mean that there is a huge or a slim possibility that you may have your soon to be husband on the podcast with you talking about some things?
Yeah, yeah. We're actually was thinking about like creating our own podcast together and talking
Mm.
about relationships because our story is very, very interesting. And I think a lot of people can be inspired. They can learn. And I think that, because we've been through a lot. We've been through a lot. But it was, sometimes, women, they don't admit when they're wrong. They always point the finger at the guy like, oh, he did this, he's that. But sometimes we have to check ourselves. And in this situation, it was me. I had to check myself. I was confused on a lot of things and get putting our business out with my family, like fitting to my family members or my friends, and them putting things in my head, and it caused me to think, oh, I deserve someone's better. I deserve somebody better than this person, but this person's actually a great person. But when you get in, you know, advice from people who really not even that happy, probably don't really want to see you happy, you start thinking you're doing something wrong. So we did take time apart for like a whole year. We broke up, and I realized within that breakup, even doing my Let's Talk Tuesday videos and just dating, and this is the person that I love. This is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. And then people know that sometimes breakups is okay. A lot of people think like, oh, I don't believe in breakups, or you might just, or I don't believe in breaks. You might just break up, and but sometimes it's necessary, especially when you've been with someone for so many years and when you're young. And it's just like sometimes when you get into a relationship when you're young, you really don't know what you want. And that was my issue. I was really young. He was already 6 years older than me, so he kind of was a little more experienced than me. I
Mm.
wasn't really dating. So it was hard for me. At a certain age, I'm like, I lost myself. So we was thinking about doing a podcast, how we got together, broke up, the how I was very confused, but how we got back together and about to get married and get ready to create our own family together. So I think it'll be dope. That's something we're thinking about right now doing for next year.
Nice, nice. All right. Now, we only have a couple of minutes left right here on the BV Mobile Apps podcast. For those who are just tuning in, we are talking to host, blogger, entrepreneur, Tateana Michelle on the phone lines with yours truly, the architect, Sean Garvey. And let's talk about the app itself, because this is
Mm-hmm.
where viewers, listeners, and followers will go to watch this type of content. They want to see people, they want to see you. They want to see you talk about all the different things that are going on socially and in relationships. So, talk to us about the app. Where can people get the app? What functionality also does the app come with? Break all that down to us.
Yeah, yeah. So the app is like when I found about this app. First of all, let me give a shout out to Bianca B. She's one of their clients as well. She was the one. I think she lives in LA, but she was the one that I came across her page on Instagram, and I saw her having this video about her having her own app. And I reached out to her. Like, I didn't know nothing about it. I reached out to her, and she gave me all the information. Then I, went to the website and I saw it. I'm like, wow, this seems so dope. And no one in Rochester, like not that I know of, had their own app. So when I reached out to these people, emailed them, and they were so professional. Let's just put that out there. Like, they were so professional. Any question you had, they answered, and they just did everything. Like, you just send what they ask you to send, pictures, like your first 3 blogs that you need to send, and they customize everything for you. You'll tell them what color you want. Like, they did everything like within 3 days. And knowing that is not as expensive. Like, at first I'm like, oh, this is going to be thousands of dollars. I'm pretty sure it's going to be so expensive. And I'm like, wow, this is so reasonable. But what makes it great is that the people are so professional. Like, whatever you ask for, they're right there emailing you with all the answers. But what I love about this app is that everything is in one. You have your social media accounts connected to it. You have your YouTube channel. You have your blog site. You have your pictures. You can blog. You can actually talk to your audience. You know, it's like, when I think of the app, I think of like first class. Like, I try to post to my app before I post to like my Instagram and my YouTube. Like, my YouTube is connected to my app, but I try to like post to my app before I do any other social media outlet. So it's really, really dope. And it's like everything is in one hand. It's like, if you really love this person, like you a big fan of this person, like downloading somebody's app is just like the best thing, because it's like you don't even have to be on Facebook. You don't have to be on Instagram, which I know people do, but everything is right there in the palm of your hand. Like, everybody's always in their phone. So why not have your own app?
Dope.
You know, like, it's dope that you have your own pictures. Like, it's times where I try like post things that I don't post on social media, so they can feel like, wow, like exclusive. Like, wow, she posted here, she didn't post there. And so I think like it's really dope. Everything is organized from, like I said, your social media accounts, from your pictures, from your blogs, from your videos. Everything is organized at the tabs at the top. Just click on whatever tab you want to click on, and boom, everything is right there.
Nice. Tateana Michelle on the phone lines, BV Mobile Apps Podcast. We're talking about all things considered Tateana Michelle and her app. How can people get the app? What do they need to do, and what do they need to type in the search engine to get that?
Listen, it's so easy. All you need is a phone. Y'all got a phone. The app is located on all mobile devices, including Amazon. All you have to do is type in Tateana Michelle. Make sure you spell it correctly, Tateana Michelle, and you'll just see the TM logo sitting right there. Boom, you got the app. Download it, and it's free. Why not download it? It's so easy. Like I said, on all mobile devices. Any mobile device you can think of, you can download the app. Like I said, even including Amazon. Like, it's so dope. It's so easy. Type in the name, download it. There you go.
All right. And I'm going to go ahead and download the app right now. So I've already friended.
You better download it. You better rate it.
Hey, I'm downloading the app right now.
Y'all download it. Y'all better rate it.
So I'm downloading the app, and I'm also friending you on Facebook, because it's very important that not only people get the app, but they follow you on social media as well. So where can people follow you?
Exactly.
Yeah, where can people follow you at on social media?
Yeah, social media, I try to keep it very simple. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, everything is Tateana Michelle. I try to just keep it simple so it won't be hard for people to follow me. Everything is Tateana Michelle. So y'all can follow me on all those social outlets. I have 2 Instagram accounts. I have my personal, Tateana Michelle. Then I have my things for my YouTube channel, Tateana Michelle TV. So you just add the TV to the end. That's there. You have Twitter, Tateana Michelle, Facebook, Snapchat, YouTube. Everything is Tateana Michelle. YouTube is Tateana Michelle TV, though.
All things Tateana Michelle, all things Tateana Michelle. And you can even go to the website as well, too, TateanaMichelle.com. And once again, it is spelled Tateana Michelle.com. No excuse to not find Tateana Michelle on the internet. No excuse. All right.
No excuse. And download the app. No excuse, y'all. Download the app. Stay connected with your girl.
Tateana Michelle, thank you so much for taking time to speak with us today. We really appreciate it. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, just Google Tateana Michelle and definitely get the app Tateana Michelle in the app marketplace. It's everywhere, including Amazon.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for calling in. All right, it's Sean Garvey. Once again, make sure you follow me on all your social media at Sean Garvey on Facebook and Sean Garvey ATL on Instagram and on Twitter. And you can catch me on the Beat Break Morning Show Monday through Fridays from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Beat Break 87 FM in Atlanta. You can go to beatbreakradiofm.com for more information. And we are also sponsored by BV Mobile Apps, courtesy of BV Mobile Apps. We want to thank Gerald Oliveri and Marshall Lyons for helping me put this interview together. So don't only get Tateana Michelle's app, but also get the Beat Break 87 FM app as well. All right.
Get both apps, y'all.
Yeah, you need that in your life. All right, tune in again. Another special edition of BV Mobile Apps Podcast. This is Sean Garvey signing out. Peace.
It's a new year. It's a new day. We're starting it over. Starting the day.
Now, before we let Tateana go, just a few fun facts about her. I understand that you like to sleep with the fan on. You're
yes,
soon to be.
I cannot sleep without the fan. I don't even understand how people can sleep without the fan.
Have you had this conversation with your soon to be husband?
Oh, yeah. Like, he already know. Like, at
Okay.
first, in the beginning, he like, why are you sleeping with the fan up? What do you mean, why I'm sleeping with the fan up? Why are you not sleeping with the fan up? So at first, it was like I can't do this fan. But now he's already immune to it to where he wants the fan on as well.
Okay. I'm just saying, you know.
All year round. And you got to understand, see, we not like in Georgia where y'all got the nice weather. We in upstate New York to where we get all the four seasons. It be cold, be a blizzard. It could be a blizzard outside. This fan would be on. Hey,
right now in the state of Georgia, in the ATL, we got that Andre from Empire bipolar weather right now. I'm just saying. Another fun fact is you love grits with jelly, something like that?
Yes. So when I eat grits, I can't just eat grits. I have to have wheat toast with strawberry jelly with the grits on top of it. That's how I eat it. Like, I just can't just eat it. Like, I have to have toast and jelly.
Okay. All right. And one more fun fact.
You gotta try that.
Hey, well, I'm from the South. I've been doing that.
Oh, okay. Cool. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So you know where I'm at now. Okay.
And one more fun fact is that you do not do clubs.
No. Like, when I go out of town, I do. But like here in Rochester, like, it's boring. Like, it's boring, and it's like, it's just a small city, so it's like everybody know everybody, and it's just very boring. But like, when I go and travel, I do. Like, I like to check out the scenery, like listen to different music. But in my hometown, no, I'm a very laid back person. I prefer like a bar, a lounge. I'm not really into like the clubs, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just boring. I don't know.
Well, hey, your soon to be husband is gonna have to deal with that. He probably, I don't know. Does he like boring? I don't know.
You know what? We're born together. I'm not even gonna say I'm boring. I'm not like boring. I just don't really care too much for clubs. I like just to go to the bar with some good drinks, with music, some good chicken wings. I'd be good. That's my type of fun. Hookah, like, I like that type of stuff.
Hookah, wings, and drinks.
There you go.
In that order.
That will work for me.
All right.